Hi everyone. We're going to practice 3-word problems by translating word sentences into equations and solving them. And the first one we're going to do is this one. We're going to find 3 consecutive even integers whose sum is 222. Now basically, on the next slide, I'm going to go ahead and talk about how you set this up. But basically, we want to have our first integer as n. Since we're going by even integers and we have to skip the next one, so our second one would be n plus 2, and our third integer would be n plus 4. Okay, so let's go through this and then we'll discuss it a little bit more. So we want the sum of these, and we're going to add them up. So n, that's the first integer, plus n plus 2, that's the second integer, plus n plus 4, that would be the third integer. And it's all equal to 222. So now all we're going to do is collect like terms. We have 3 n's. And here we have 2 plus 4 is 6. So this equals 222. And when you subtract 6, you're going to get 3n equals, you're subtracting 6 from both sides. So that's going to leave you 2, 1, 6. And then you divide both sides by n, or 3. And all I'm going to do here is divide 3 into, I'm not going to use a calculator. 3 goes into 21 7 times. And 3 goes, so I just divided that piece. And 3 goes into 6 2 times. So my n equals 72. But we have to find them all. So if I plug in n for 72 up here, then 72 plus 2 is 74. And 74 plus 4 would be 76. And if you add those up, and I'll just put pluses here, I'll take away these, you'll get 222. Now this is a good SAT question. So anytime they're talking about consecutive integers, you always start out with n. The second one would be n plus 1. The third one would be n plus 2, and so forth. So if my first integer equals 7, so you'd put 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. 7 plus 2 is 9. And 7 plus 3 is 10. So that gives you your consecutive integers. Now as far as even and odd, it doesn't really matter how you write that. You're just going to skip one. So n plus 2, n plus 4, n plus 6. So last time we were doing even, let's let our first integer equal 3. So if our n is 3, then we put 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 plus 4 is 7. And 3 plus 6 is 9. So that automatically gives you the odd and consecutive odd integers. But if n was 4, then you just plug in the 4, and then you just keep adding, and you get it. So this works for your consecutive even and odd. If it's just consecutive numbers, you just go in order, because you're talking about integers. All right, the next problem we have is this one. Number, so n is our number. So a number divided by 3, so I just did that, is equal to that same number decreased by 14. And we have to find the number. So what I'm going to do is cross multiply. I'm going to write the n minus 14 in fraction form. And I'm going to cross multiply 3 up here to n minus 14. Alright, now I'm going to distribute here. So this is going to be n equals 3n minus, and 3 times 14 is going to be 42. Now you can subtract 3n from both sides, and you get negative 2n. This is 0 out, that zeroes out, equals negative 42. And divide both sides by negative 2. And so our n equals, and you can just divide each piece here, that's going to be 21. And you plug it back in. Let's plug it back in. 21 over 3. Does that equal 21 minus 14? So 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 21 minus 14 is 7. So this works. And our last problem is this typical problem here. We're going to let, we have $1 bills and $5 bills in a wallet. The total number of bills is 54 with a total value of 174. So how many ones and fives are in the wallet? So the way you set this up was we're going to let the X equal the $1 bills, and we're going to let the Y equal the $5 bills. All right. So we're going to put our total number on the first line. So our total number of bills is number of $1 bills plus the number of our $5 bills, and that equals 54. And then what we're going to do is use our money line. So the X is $1, so that's 1X. You don't need to put the 1. And our Y is $5. You can put the $1 here if you want. That just makes it more confusing, though. Equals 174. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the dollar signs because it makes it worse. All right. Now I'm going to take away the 1, too. We know that that's a 1. So basically, I'm going to use the process of elimination and subtract this whole thing. So X minus X, let's just negate everything since this is beginning. So we're going to do X plus 5 equals 54, and we want to negate this whole thing. So that's going to be negative X minus 5Y equals negative 174. Okay, and when you add this now, you just combine. X minus X is 0, so that eliminated, hence process of elimination, the X. Y minus 5Y is negative 4Y. And 174 minus 54 is 120, but it's negative because we're doing the negative. So I'm doing this without a calculator. We're dividing both sides by negative 4. So Y, that cancels. And 4 goes into this 30 times. 2 negatives make it a positive. So Y is 30. So basically, we go back to this equation here and plug it in. We have X plus Y. Y is 30 equals 54. And hopefully, instead of doing all the algebra, you can just tell by looking that X is going to be 24, because 24 plus 30 equals 54. So my $1 bills equals 24. My $5 bills is 30. Okay? That's all. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.